Good morning. One more time. One more time.
Welcome once again. So Kente is a ceremonial hand-woven cloth, woven on a horizontal treadle loom. And to us Ghanaians, it's not just a cloth. It is an industrial symbol of Ghanaian culture. I don't think you can mention Ghana without speaking about Kente. And the cloth is gradually becoming, a symbol of all black people. Because people, look towards this cloth to communicate with us black people, and it is a significant part of our culture as black people. So the cloth dates as far back as the 17th century, and two young brothers from their Asma clan, from their center here, studied the ways and manners of a spider. So after studying the spider, they came up with their own version of the spider web, and they gave a name to that. So the name was Enyene Entuma. Can we try that? Enyene Entuma.
Enyene Entuma.
Meaning the woven cloth. So they took this sample, of this to the chief of this town, and that will be answered the first. And he also led these young men to Menchia, Kumasi, to present this discovery, this information to the king, and I was able to do first. So after seeing the sample, he thought it was interesting that these people could come up with something this complex. So he decided to put these young men in charge of the weaving to continue with the experiments and see how far that would lead them. So later on, they came up with another version of what they saw in the forest. And after the people here saw this version, they realized that the cloth, the Kente, looked similar to the making of the basket. So before Kente was discovered, they were already making baskets in something. So after weaving this cloth, the people here started calling the cloth Kente and Entuma, meaning a basket woven cloth. So in G, a basket is called Kente. So we started calling the cloth Kente and meaning a basket woven cloth. So initially, to do the weaving, they would sit on the bare ground. So they would spread their legs like this, and they would put threads in between their toes and then tuck them in their shorts to form like a triangle. And this stage of the weaving was called Ayase Entuma. Ayase Entuma.
Ayase Entuma.
The groin area, the Ayase, we call it the groin area, the Ayase. So because they were tucking the threads, they decided to call it, Ayase Entuma. So the initial idea was to make the Kente in bigger strips to be sewn into cloth for people to wear, but they couldn't manage this. And the Ayase Entuma. They only managed just small pieces. And also the Ayase Entuma, they had not discovered the cotton. So they were using, fiber from some plants, mostly what we call raffia, and they were mostly picking these along the riverbeds here, in Asante here, and that was what they were mostly using as threads to weave it. So they sat down and they came up with another version of the weaving, and this new version was called Asase Entuma.
Asase Entuma.
Which means bare ground weaving.
Bare ground or bare ground?
Bare ground, like
Bare ground,
bare
yeah.
ground weaving. That was because they were tacking or they were putting poles on the bare ground, to do the weaving.
Right.
and they would put these, poles in the background also to form a triangle. So it was like a direct transfer of the concept they were using in Asentuma here, but with the idea to make the cloth or the kente here, in bigger pieces than what they were making in their initial process. So they could manage, a little bigger pieces here, but it still wasn't big enough. So they decided to move to another stage of the Asentuma, and here they decided to transfer what they were doing on the ground onto a board. And that is what we have. Illustrated on the board here. So like the nails on the board here, there was actually poles in the background in the initial stage, and they transferred that onto a board as you can see here. So they will have the thread like we can see here, and then they'll put another wooden piece in between the threads here, to make space for the thread here. Then they'll be putting them through like that. So it still wasn't big enough, as they would like it. So they sat down and they came up with the last version, the final evolution of Kente. And that's what we have in our weaving centers as the loom weaving, or the Tuma, as we call it in G. So it was on the loom that the first, Kente Cloth was made. So from Tuma to Tuma to Tuma, the final version of the weaving. So the first ever Kente Cloth was called Gagamuka. Gagamuka.
What?
Gagamuka.
Okay.
Which means pins, stripes. But the word actually came from an expression or this saying that we have in Chi that goes Mempenyaga. 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 Which means we don't care.
You see? That's why I can't say it. Because
And the reason was that they were, like I was saying, in the initial process of the weaving, they were making it in very small pieces. So the people here didn't, really see the value in what they were making. So it's like, we see them making something, but we don't care.
right, yeah. I don't care what it is to make it. Like, let them do what they do. So
it was later that the campaign were made in bigger strips to be sewn into cloths. That was when people actually so this is what they were actually doing. So later on, they had a student called Opak Rabbi, and he introduced colors into Kente. And he did that by, he traveled to Cote d'Ivoire. And from there, he learned that there are some trees in our forest, and it contains some juice from these trees to dye the cotton to get other colors, which they could also use to weave different types of weaving. So after going through this process, they came up with 3 primary colors: red, yellow, and green. So if you take notice, you realize that these colors run through most of the cloths that we have in Kente, and that was because these were the primary colors. These were the colors that were first introduced. Okay, so we have the Sikabia. In English, you'd call it the money tree, and they actually gave the tree that name because they obtained the gold color from that tree. So after obtaining the gold color from this tree, they decided to call it the money tree.
I've been looking for one of those trees all my life.
And we also have the cocktail tree. They also got the red color from that tree. And sometimes they would mess, juice on multiple trees to get other colors. So this was what they were doing to get the colors. And the cloths they made from these colors, they were not washable because these were dyes and they were washed away. So like I was saying, Kente is a ceremonial cloth. So they would only wear these cloths only for festivals, and after that they would dry them. Yes, so those were.
And do you have examples of the plants that were used for dyeing that we can see?
Not yet.
Okay.
Well, we have first we have the site that they had. They discovered this spider making the web. We have that site there, and we have also the trees also in the forest. Is also a site that we have there.
Okay.
Okay.
Well, this is the Kente Cloth, and this, like I said at the association, this was the first ever Kente Cloth woven on the loom, and It is also a single weaving pattern, and this is how the weaving was done initially, just plain weaving without any designs. So it was in the 20th century that designs were introduced and integrated into the double and triple weaving patterns. So the first three cloths we have here are all single weaving patterns. This is also a double weaving pattern here, and it is basically the single weave at the background of the cloth, and then designs on the triple weave. And then we have the triple weave here, and here the designs all over the face of the single weave, but it's done simultaneously. So they don't make the single weave before they make the double or the triple weave pattern.
Okay.
So, like I was saying, the designs in the cloths tells a story, and sometimes if you really get into the cloth and interpret the design, and then you can even get into the thoughts of the weaver when he was making the cloth.
So what story is this telling?
For example, here, this cloth has about 3 designs in the cloth here. So this design that we see here is the Achem design, and Achem simply means protection. So in the olden days, they used to put this design on their war cloths when they were going to war, with a belief that it will give them protection. And then we have this design here. It's called Pudu. And Pudu simply means strength, the heaviness or the strength in the family. And lastly here, this design here is called Fehia Kochre Ajima, and there was a king, and the weavers here, sent a plea to him to come to the aid of the weavers financially. So every time the weavers make a design, they give it a name and the reasons why they made such a design. And every design you find in all of the cloths, as you see, have their meanings.
Oh, thank you.
So the one on top there is called Sikafri Muja, Money Calls Blood. That is the name of the cloth.
Repeat that. Money.
Money Calls Blood.
Okay.
This is also a very significant piece of Kente in the history of science, and I would like to get expressed. So the zigzag design you see in this cloth is the Enchinchim design, and Enchinchim simply means you take multiple ways to get to a destination, and this was made in reference to the stages that the Kente went through, or the weaving went through before I go to the final stage.
So that's like the history of Kente in the cloth.
Yes. So the cloth is called Sikafutru, gold dust. And we had this tradition that we practiced in the olden days. When our kings died, they would smear this gold dust on their bodies before they were buried. Okay. And then finally here, we also have this cloth. This is called Enmama Ne Esisrape Agro Bears and termites game. And in the rainy season here in Ghana, you see these termites coming out to the ground. So you see the bears will come down and they are playing with the termites, but they'll be picking them as food. So this cloth was made to say something in Proverbs to the British people when they were here.
Okay.
Because initially it seemed like they were bringing development, education, some other stuff, but they were actually taking our resources and our people to their country. So our ancestors made this cloth and they compared what the British did to our people. And then lastly here, we have Ohene Afro Shine design here, which means the king has boarded a ship. This cloth was made after our king, Nana Ado the First, was captured and exiled to Seychelles Island by the British forces when they were here. So after he was captured, our people made this cloth to mark the moment of our departure to the island. So I'll end here. If you have any questions.
Did you say your first king?
No, he was Ajimabamba the First.
The first with that name?
Yes, the first with the
Yes, but you've had kings for centuries before.
And that's how it works,
Yeah.
Before the kings are installed, they are taken into a room. I don't know if you know about that history. They are taken into a room. So we have chairs of previous kings and stools of previous kings. So they blindfold them and they go into the room, the dark room, and pick a stool. So after picking the stool, they'll check, the name of that stool, and then they'll give it to him. So if, there have been 2 kings who has sat on that stool, he'll be the 3rd.
Sure.
Okay.
So that's how it works. That's why we have, Premper the First, Premper the Second.
Nice one?
Amazing. Also between after me.
Amazing. Okay.
Okay, so this is the practical form of the weaving, and this is what we call as the loom weaving. The loom weaving, and when you come to the loom, we have different materials here. Their names and the functions it also plays in the weaving. So we have what you call as the pulley bars on top of the loom. Then we have the pulley here, and inside the pulley we have what you call as the flanges inside the pulley. Then we call this one the heddles or the nets. Then when you come here, we have what you call as the reed or the beater. Then we call this one the shuttle. This is shuttle, and inside the shuttle there's a material called bobbin.
Yes.
Inside the shuttle. Then we have what you call as the rolling bar. Then the load over there. That's the load. So and then one thing here, we have what you call as the heddle ramps or the paddles. The heddle ramps or the paddles. So when you get to the loom, when you sit in the loom, what you first do is to insert the paddles into your toes, like that. So the function of the paddles, the heddle ramps, and the pulley is that it helps in creating spaces in the cloth. So you see, when you press it down, it opens the cloth for you here to create space. Yes. So when you see the space, what you do is to pass your shuttle through it like this, and then you beat it with the beater. So when you come to the left side, you lose your right foot, then you press on the left one, then the same space will be open here. You pass it through, you play with the beater. So it goes that way, like that. So this is like a single weave type. Here you don't make any design, so it's so simple and fast in weaving.
You want to have a go? Do you want to have a go, Coach? You want to try it?
Someone wants to try?
No? I don't have nobody else has slippers or no sandals. That is so fast.
Yeah.
So if you were to do just single, how long would it take?
Alright, so by doing a single weave, it takes like a week or two to complete a full cloth. When I say a full cloth, it can either come in a female size or a male size. And when they say the female size comes with 6 years.
Yes.
It's 6 years in all.
So how much is the male?
The male one is also like 10 years. Yeah, 10 years. That's how it is. And every kente is also made on strips like this.
Yes, and then they're joined.
And then after you join it.
And is the joining hand as well?
The joining are either done by hand or
machine. Okay.
Yeah, so
okay.
in the kente weaving, the joining is only the aspect that we use the machine in doing it. Because by using the hand, it takes a longer time.
Of course. Are you adding a color? Are you adding a color soon so we can see how you add it?
Yeah, you can add another colors.
Yes.
But we have the measurements.
Yes, of course.
Before.
How much more you've got to do before you add the color?
Okay. Every kente is measured like 4 to 8 inches wide.
Okay.
Alright, so what you're doing here, because it's the sashes,
Yeah.
when you do this one has 3 inches.
Yes.
From here to here is 3 inches. Then we're doing 20 inches from
20
here to
in
the other
between.
end,
Okay.
in between.
Okay. So you have a long way to go.
Yeah, you have
but
a
thank
long
you so much for teaching us, showing us what you do in the demonstration and explaining. Appreciate it.
You're welcome.
So when rain falls, you leave it right here?
Oh yeah.
Okay, nothing happens there.
Especially those with these type of colors and
Yes.
also
Okay.
with the cotton one. But if you are using the rayon ones, the rayon is soft in nature.
Okay.
So you just have to take it out.
Take it out.
But if you
Oh.
are using the cotton, it's very hard. So you can't leave it.
Okay.